You're listening to Nuestra Gente with Linda Parra.
Estamos acá en Nuestra Gente Radio Show. Les habla Linda Parra con otra interesante entrevista en el día de hoy. Hi, we are here in Nuestra Gente Radio Show. We have another interesting interview, and we had our safety director, Brian Byrd, and deputy safety director, Angel Tucker. Tenemos a Brian Byrd, quien es el director de seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo, y tenemos también a Angel Tucker, quien es el subdirector de seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo. Así que vamos a conversar con ellos en el día de hoy, mis amigos. We're going to start with the question. How do you feel when you receive the news in December about your new job?
A little overwhelmed, at the same time grateful and optimistic about what the two of us can hopefully, do together to move the city forward with some of the challenges we're having with community safety.
La pregunta era, ¿cómo se siente cuando recibió la noticia en diciembre sobre su nuevo trabajo? Y él dice que está muy contento, preparándose para la nueva posición sobre los cuidados y la seguridad en la ciudad de Toledo. How do you feel when you received the news in December about your new position?
Excited all over again when I realized that I would get the chance to work under Byrd's tutelage.
Entonces la pregunta para él también es que cómo se sintió cuando recibió la noticia sobre su nueva posición como el subdirector de seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo. Él nos dice que más contento y preparado para trabajar al lado de el director de seguridad, Brian Byrd. Something you miss from your previous job. Algo que usted extraña de su trabajo anterior.
The fire department is a very unique culture and it's very tight-knit, and I miss the people. That's what I miss most. It's a family. A lot of the people that I worked with knew me before I had children and held my children as they got older.
La pregunta era que cómo se siente, qué es lo que extraña de su trabajo anterior cuando era el jefe del Departamento de Bomberos de acá de la ciudad de Toledo. Él dice que lo que más extraña es la gente, a todos los oficiales que trabajaron allí con él antes de él estar casado, antes de tener sus hijos. Durante muchísimos años estuvo trabajando en este departamento. What are you missing from your previous job?
I miss being on the front lines, not just to be the front line of defense, but to actually connect people with resources that they need as well.
So always a new day.
Yes.
In a new mission.
Yes.
Entonces él nos está diciendo que lo que está extrañando de su trabajo anterior como oficial de policía de la ciudad de Oregón es estar en el frente de las situaciones diarias, de estar ahí presente a la hora de una emergencia, cuando se presenta una llamada al departamento de policía. También extraña muchísimo el estar ahí y poder responder inmediatamente. Actualmente es a través de otros departamentos, pero le gustaba mucho esa conexión directa a la hora de presentarse en un caso de emergencia. How do you feel about your new position, safety director?
Excited. It's tiring, a lot of long hours, but we're trying to do something different with the position. We're trying to take a overarching view of community safety. Usually, these positions, when it comes to the Office of the Safety Director, is more specifically about police and fire. Well, we're taking it beyond just police and fire to more. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Working with our public safety forces and the community, because we're trying to take an overarching view of public safety. So we're trying to figure out not only protecting by way of our public safety forces, but enabling the people in our community to be safe, for lack of a better word of putting it. There's a lot of things going on, and people need to have some preparedness for emergencies, and we're trying to take an overarching view of that.
Are you gonna do some presentations, some education about?
We're working on all of that. Yes.
La pregunta era cómo se siente acerca de su nueva posición como el director de seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo, y él nos dice que se siente muy contento con esta posición, mucha responsabilidad. Están trabajando en estar conectados con las comunidades y también educar a la gente sobre seguridad, y están preparando esos proyectos para presentarlos a la comunidad también.
I'm very optimistic about the new position, and that optimism is I also feel a lot of duty to serve, because we took this position it's a very serious position and we want to take it serious. We don't want to get caught up in the title or the position itself. What we're, and I can say we because we have a lot of discussion about this, what we're trying to see is how we can take this position and give power back to the community, give power back to our safety forces, and really do what's best for our community and our safety forces. Not just what we feel is the best, but what they tell us they need. So I feel a lot of optimism when it comes to this position.
I think that it should be a closer connection between safety and community.
Exactly.
Correct.
And we're trying to nurture that relationship and with other organizations that are out there doing a lot of good things. So there's no reason to reinvent the wheel, just how do we put it all together so that people can work together to make some changes.
It would do better in Toledo.
That's the plan.
Yes. Ángel nos estaba comentando que se siente muy optimista con su nueva posición como subdirector de seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo. Hay muchos cambios que se van a dar, tratan de conectarse más con las comunidades, de llevar esa educación, como lo decía el director de seguridad, a la comunidad, trabajar en equipo con diferentes grupos para hacer de Toledo una ciudad más segura. And what is the plan for the securities Toledo? ¿Cuál es el plan para la seguridad de Toledo?
We have to address the things that we see immediately happening, the gun violence. There's been an uptick in domestic violence. So there's those things we need to address. That's what our public safety forces are out there trying to do. You know, we support our police department in their investigatory efforts to address these issues. And at the same time, we're trying to connect people in the community to resources so that, sometimes people's environment, they don't feel like there's much hope and they don't feel like they have many options. So we're trying to connect people in the community, in particular the underserved communities where the violence is, there's a disparate impact in those communities when it comes to the violence. So if we can help with the children, if we can help with that the youth. We just had a tour today of Rogers High School and some of the things that they're doing over there to do just that. Then there's the issues of resources and when it comes to mental health, we're taking more of a collaborative approach to all of that to peel back the different layers of the onion that have created over decades and decades the problems that we see out there.
En Spanish, la pregunta era ¿cuál es el plan para la seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo? Director de seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo nos dice que hay un plan específico y es para tratar directamente la violencia con las armas y también la violencia doméstica. Son dos prioridades ahorita, son unos graves problemas que tiene la ciudad de Toledo y ellos están tratando de abarcar esos problemas trabajando directamente en un equipo donde se llegue más hacia los niños y también hacia los jóvenes, la educación para la prevención en estos casos de violencia doméstica y de violencia con las armas que está presente acá en la ciudad de Toledo. Anything that you would like to add to the plan?
So
working as a team?
Yeah, since there's layers, there's clearly something else to add because there are so many layers. Piggybacking off of what Director Byrd was saying, connecting people to those resources is going to be more for us than just saying, okay, here's this resource over here. What one of the goals is to take almost an assessment and figure out where different individuals in our community lie. So if they need, because every place is a starting point. I may need something with mental health. He may have an education and make the money, but has trouble with credit and home ownership. Because one thing that we've done the studies. Cities of similar size and demographic of Toledo that have above the national average in education, career placement, career training, and home ownership have significantly less crime. Cities that have below that national average have similar or above. So though we have a violence issue, we also have education, a training, career placement, and home ownership issue. And as you know, when you are stable, when you feel stable yourself, and you have something that is yours, you tend to feel safer. And we want to make sure that we encompass this throughout the city. It's not just one sector of the city that we need to serve. We need to serve the entire city. So in doing that, we work on these connections. But then you got the other layers where we're going to work on assessments in case of disasters. Reevaluate those assessments and make sure that we're up to date on that as well.
we know that these young people who experience the trauma of some of the violence, when they witness it, when their families are involved in it, they're exponentially more likely to either be a perpetrator of or a victim of that same violence as they get older. And Deputy Director Tucker has already been working on some partnerships with some agencies in the community to do what he calls a soft handoff for some of these youth who experience this trauma. Yes, to get them, to get them the mental health support that they need so that they're not carrying all that throughout their lifetime with no idea on how to manage that within themselves.
Hablando del plan de seguridad para la ciudad de Toledo, el subdirector de seguridad, Angel Tucker, nos está hablando sobre, no es un plan no solamente para una comunidad específica en la ciudad de Toledo, sino de los diferentes sectores de la ciudad. Ver cuáles son las necesidades en todos los sectores de la ciudad, trabajar en equipo. Y no solamente en la violencia de las armas y la violencia doméstica, también hay problemas de situaciones de que no hay gente que no tiene su propia vivienda, hay gente que no recibe la educación suficiente, no tiene la economía suficiente para poder sobrevivir y tener una vida normal, y por ahí también empiezan los problemas que afectan a la sociedad y a la ciudad también. Entonces él dice que es trabajar en los diferentes sectores, hacer un plan comprensivo, trabajar con otras organizaciones como lo mencionaron anteriormente. What are the challenges? ¿Cuáles son los retos?
We have to figure out how to prioritize because, as we said, there's a lot of layers.
Yeah.
A lot of layers.
Work, a lot of responsibility.
So what we're working on now, because I've only been in this spot since February 11th and Deputy Director Tucker started January 3rd. So we haven't had a lot of time yet, so we're still going through, as he stated, our assessments to figure out what we need to prioritize because those layers have to be peeled back in the correct orders to have a long-term effect, to create some positive change. So I'd say the challenge right now is prioritizing.
Ir a cada una de esas medidas que ellos quieren implementar para esos problemas, verlas bien, estudiarlas bien y por supuesto cubrir esa necesidad de una forma más segura y preventiva para las comunidades de la ciudad de Toledo. Para ellos el plan ahorita, los retos que ellos están presentando ahorita es hacer la prioridad en todos estos problemas de seguridad que se nos están presentando en la ciudad. Ellos están preparando su plan para abarcar todas estas necesidades y por supuesto cubrir las prioridades que tienen en cuanto a seguridad en la ciudad de Toledo.
There's a couple challenges. One is trying to get past some of the stigmas that come along with the things that we want to address, and I'll even go back to the mental health aspect of it.
There's a lot of stigma.
Yes, and
in
what
our community,
yes,
in African
yes,
American, Latino community,
yes,
we are afraid of so many things.
We won't acknowledge the problems within ourselves.
Yeah, you just deal with it, and the days of deal with it have kind of led us to some of the behaviors that we're seeing because we have issues that are going unchecked. Another challenge is pacing ourselves.
Yes.
We both come a career field where you stayed until that task was completed. Whether it be a fire or a tragic incident, you were there until it was done, which leads to the late nights that we tend to have or the weekends. And I think in order for us to kind of be an example of some of the things we say, we have to learn pace for our own selves and even our own mental health, and we have to take the stigma away, not just from our communities, but from our safety forces too. There's a huge stigma in that. So I think one of the big challenges is definitely get chopping down these stigmas and these misconceptions.
Uno de los retos que él nos está hablando es sobre el estigma que hay en las comunidades. Hay mucha gente que tiene temor a enfrentar situaciones o a comunicar una situación específica que se presente o hacer un llamado o buscar una ayuda. Ese problema de estigma ellos quieren tratar de suavizarlo, específicamente en nuestras comunidades, las comunidades afroamericanas y las comunidades latinas, donde el estigma es muy grande. Él dice es educar un poquito más a las comunidades, tratar de eliminar el estigma que también existe en los diferentes cuerpos de seguridad, lo menciona él, donde se abarque más la necesidad, se priorice cuál es el problema y que se deje el estigma de un lado y se enfrenten las realidades en cada una de las situaciones que se presenten. Anything else that you would like to add, Director?
Oh, I'd like to say thank you for you being here. because as Deputy Director Tucker said, we're trying to reach the entire community as our audience for what it is we want to do. So thank you for being here and giving us the opportunity to talk to you. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Deputy Director?
I think you'll find that we have an open line of communication. Like I said, one of the benefits was being able to work under this man and learning from him.
He's been in the field for a long
Yes.
time.
Learning from him is showing me an approach that I wanted, that I didn't think was able to come, but he is making it. Open line of communication is there.
Education is the key.
Yes.
So, él nos está mencionando, el subdirector de seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo, Angel Tucker, sobre trabajar con la experiencia del director de seguridad, Brian Byrd, de la ciudad de Toledo, con una persona con muchísima experiencia en el campo.
The things that we're trying to address are community problems. So we're trying to truly take a community approach to addressing those problems.
Como nos dice el director Brian Byrd, es que lo importante es llegar a los problemas que tiene la comunidad y, por supuesto, saber manejarlos, conducirlos y preparar un plan específico para estos problemas que tiene nuestra comunidad en cuanto a seguridad se refiere acá en la ciudad de Toledo. Mis amigos, hemos llegado hasta el final del programa. Les habló Linda Parra acá en nuestra Gente Radio Show. I want to thank you again for joining us today, for information that
Gracias.
you are providing to our viewers and listeners. And also to you, Angel Tucker. I'm going to say in Spanish, subdirector de seguridad de la ciudad de Toledo.
And I say gracias also.
Ok, gracias. Gracias, mis amigos. Hasta acá hemos llegado y será hasta una nueva oportunidad cuando ustedes y nosotros estaremos acá en nuestra Gente Radio Show para todos ustedes. Les quiero. Chao.
Thanks.